Sup, my dudes? I need to get a butt patch that says turkeys can fly, boy. So I'm about to die in about 2.3 seconds. I got the brilliant idea to come in here and ride with 100 stability. So this is probably going to turn out really bad. I have no idea. I've not rode with 100 stability since I was a full-blown beginner. I don't even know if I ever actually rode with 100 stability. I think I started on like 80 or 90, so this is going to be like even more so I have no idea what's going to happen, but let's see what goes on. So, oh my god, that feels weird. That feels really weird. That is like, when you start jacking around with the stability stuff and like the rider mass distribution and all that kind of crap, that really changes the bike. It's crazy, dude. Like, I mean, when you go in there and adjust some suspension clickers like compression and rebound, it's not going to do that much to the bike in comparison to like this right here. This is insane, dude. I feel like, I actually literally feel like this is arcade mode right now. I'm not even joking in the slightest, bro. Like, this is arcade mode times 10. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, you can't even turn the bike at all. Like, I can't turn to get up that hill. I'm turning all the way, like as hard as you can turn the bike. I'm over here in the woods, boys, smoking some Schwede. Oh my gosh. Get on the track, Spencer, for the love of God. Oh my gosh, dude. I knew this was going to be disastrous. That's why I picked Southwick, because I knew it was a little bit of a wider track. So, oh god, I need to stop. I need some tea if I'm going to be doing this 100 stability shit for sure. Wowzers, dude. This is like not what I was expecting. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit easier to turn, but oh, what it does is it like, what I'm noticing is it's making it to where I can't even lean either. Like it's got so much stability that it's restricting every part of the bike, which is how it's supposed to be. But, you know, it's crazy how it's doing that, because you would just think you wouldn't be able to turn as sharp, but really it makes it to where you can like barely even move on the bike. It's kind of like somebody's got you glued on the bike or something. It's very bizarre going back to 100 stability, but, one thing I noticed is I was jacking around with some of my suspension stuff and some of my setup stuff, and you know, I'd been changing it for like a year. Over the past year, I'd been changing it quite a bit, and it felt like I was really improving, and it was like, okay, you know, I've been changing this and changing that, and I was getting better and better, and then I went back in there after a year and changed it all back to what I had before, and I was actually getting faster lap times with what I had before, so I was completely duping my own self that whole time. So you got to be really careful with suspensions and setups in this game, because a lot of the times less control is more control. I know that sounds kind of silly and kind of backwards to what I've said before, but it really is, man. Like, it's crazy how all that suspension and stability and rider mass distribution and vertical spring and all that crap is. It's very, very weird. With suspension, a lot of times it's really just about the comfortability on it, not so much like how extremely you've got control over the bike, if that makes any sense. It really is about finding what you like, because one thing I've learned is people have all different types of setups out there. So you could have one dude over here that's got his, you know, his rider mass distribution on a certain thing, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, that's the best rider mass distribution. Well, actually, he's got his, you know, stability or advanced stability over here set up completely different than you, so it's making his rider mass distribution feel different than what it would feel to you. So it's kind of it's a weird thing where you've really got to test it on your own, because unless you're using somebody's fully entire complete setup, that's kind of a different story there. But like, if you've got your, you know, your rider mass distribution that you like and your advanced stability that you like and all that stuff, it's really hard to just look at somebody else's setup and kind of like just plop that into what you already have. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to do that, because it's like everything's changing everything. So it's quite bizarre, but that's one thing I learned. Like, it's 10 times better to go in there and just figure out kind of what is vibing with your own setup than it is to like go in there and plop in what somebody else has and try to make it work with the setup that you already have. You know, it's like it doesn't work as good as you think it would. It really doesn't. And the problem is you get so used to a particular thing, and that's where you got to be really careful when you start in this game, because you know, whatever you get used to, it's going to feel like home from pretty much there on out. So there is a point with certain setup things where it's like you at least want to get it to a certain level, or you are actually restricting your ability on the bike, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, if you have your rider mass distribution like all the way stock low, then you're just not going to be able to move as good on the bike. But once it gets up there in the, you know, the higher ranges, it's not as big of a deal. You know, it's not like you have to have maximum rider mass distribution. You don't, I promise you. And a lot of weird things with this game, like setup wise, it can make it look like you're able to jump farther and higher with a certain stability or a certain like vertical spring and all that stuff, but in reality you're actually not jumping that high or that far. It's very weird how that works in this game, but it's something I've had to learn. Like, you can definitely find suspensions that are like, it feels like you're God mode. It feels like you can pull up on the bike and pull back on the bike and turn really sharp and do everything you want to with it, but it's not as good. You know, you've got to like find a medium ground where it's as much control without getting out of control with your stability and your suspension and all that kind of stuff. But and it's crazy because like a lot of people out there don't even run 0 stability. Like, they'll run 10 stability or 15 stability, but yet they'll have their advanced stability changed up a bunch where it's allowing them to turn even sharper. Now with me, it's a little bit different, but you know, it's just everybody's got all these different things that are coming together to make their suspension feel a certain way. So it's very, very bad to just look at one part of somebody's setup and then try to integrate that into your own setup. You know, you want to kind of build it all around what you're feeling on the bike. So God, this 100 stability is kicking my ass right now, bro. There ain't no doubt about that, boy. Kicking my schnoz for sure. Jeez. It's just hard to get on the gas, you know. It's hard to get any sort of balls to really try to get on the throttle here, because you just know you're not going to be able to turn. It's kind of similar to like not having your brakes set high enough. That's kind of what this feels like right here. It's just like you're scared to even really hit the gas because you just, you know the outcome. Like, you're not going to be able to turn very sharp. So, and the crazy thing about the brakes is you can either have them really high or you can have them low and have them where they're not on the anti-lock, and then it's making them feel like they're higher. So it's just hard to explain, man. There's a lot to the setups in this game, but all I'm saying is, like, I sat there and jacked around with crap with the setup for a full year and then went back to what I had before, and I was getting faster lap times with it. So just don't let it fool you, you know? Don't let it make you think it feels better, but when it really doesn't, you got to be really careful, because there's a lot of setup things in this game that'll make it feel like you can be really twitchy with the bike, like you can really whip the bike harder, and you might think, oh, this is really what I need. And to you in first person, it looks like you're actually whipping it more, but in third person, you're really not. It's like with the vertical springs and the forward springs and all that stuff, they're a very tricky thing in this game, and I haven't fully figured it out yet. I mean, people use all different types of stuff, man. It's very difficult to learn that aspect of the game, because it to me, it feels like it changes 10 times more than the actual suspension does in the game. Oh my God, burping. I do that in every video, but drinking tea will do it to you for sure. But yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and try something a little different. 100 stability. I will be going in there and trying like fucking 0 brakes and all that kind of stuff. I haven't really decided what all I'm going to do on that, but we'll have to just wait and see. But I think it'll be cool. And I'm really going to try to get into some different kind of videos. I'm going to start uploading quite frequently, so don't freak out, boys. I know I've kind of been on this every other day kind of bit of a schedule here and missing some days in between. But it's, you know, you got to be careful with YouTube uploading. Any of you people out there that are kind of beginner YouTubers, and of course, I'm not the biggest PewDiePie pro YouTuber ever, but something I've learned is you got to be real careful when you start like making a ton of videos, because your quality is not going to be there. You know, you're going to have more quantity than you have quality, and that's not something you want in the YouTube game. Some people think it is, and it'll make you feel like you're growing quick, but the problem with that is people will start getting tired of you real quick because you've got so many videos out there and they're not even that good. This is not one of those things where you want to be like mediocre. You don't want to be mediocre in YouTube. You gotta be banging. You gotta be schwanging. You gotta be really trying hard in this game, because first impressions, they're a big deal, you know. And some dude may just happen to click on one of your videos, and you really gotta impress him. I mean, you gotta be like him or her or whoever, aliens. I don't know who's watching my videos, but you gotta have enough emotion and enough something that they're like, oh yeah, that dude's kind of cool, let me click on another one of his videos. But if you're just this mediocre, like just pretty much reading people the news, like it's not. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people out there with absolutely zero personalities that have humongous YouTube channels, and YouTube's one of those things. It's a lot of it is luck. A lot of it is luck of the draw. Like, you know, you could go make a stupid Issa glowing 1,000-degree knife or something like that, you know? Like, you could catch on to all these little trends, and, I mean, I could do all that crap and be 5 times as big as I already am on YouTube, trust me, and I could really grow. But I feel like with YouTube, I would way more rather have respect from people than I would be big on YouTube. Any day of the week, like, what's the point of being big if nobody respects you and they know the only way you got there was just following other people's trends and copying other people, and you never got anywhere from anything of your own? Like, that's so stupid, you know? But hey, man, people, I mean, there's money involved in YouTube. When you get really big, there's a lot of money involved. So it sort of makes this, like, incentive for people to do some of the dumbest content on YouTube. It really does. And it's like so ingenuine, so just like trendy, one-day base bullshit that never is gonna last more than 3 seconds, and it's so stupid. And there's like people that, I mean, just not even funny, like not even comedic whatsoever. It's pretty sad. I'm not going to lie. I mean, yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm, you know, funny here and there and cringy here and there too, and I completely understand that. But, dude, I've seen some of these YouTubers out here. It's pretty pitiful. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's pretty bad. But either way, all you can really do in the long run is worry about yourself, and that's a big tip too. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Later, dudes.